Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider do subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now today is an exciting day, the 11th of August 2022. Why is it exciting? You probably have already read the topic of this video and saw the thumbnail and you clicked it in this video. Well, congratulations, because Victoria, the state government of Victoria, is officially open for state migration. Now obviously I suspect all the other states like New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia will soon open their state migration as well. Now bear in mind, before we go in there, just to let you know, Tasmania government also opened for their state government nomination as well. But we already gone through the state nomination criteria for Tasmania, so I'm not going to go through that again anymore. You may want to check out my previous video. Anyway, let's go into the actual contents of the Victorian state nomination. And we're talking about subclass 491 and 190, the most commonly asked subclasses. So before we go that, let's jump in there, as I have received this newsletter this morning, Skill and Business Migration Program Updates, and it reads Victoria's Skill Migration Program is now open. So obviously there's not much of information here. Let's go into the actual web page. Now this is the news page of the Victorian Live in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia website. So as you can see, published on the 11th of August 2022. So this is only about a couple hours old. So you make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to keep everything updated as soon as I can. I just had to go through a lot of work this morning, but once I see this video, I've got everything prepared. I spent about half an hour read through all the contents. Now I'm going to read through it, explain to you all in this video, so stay tuned towards the end of this video for all the information on Victoria's skill migration. So Victoria's 2022-23 skill migration is now open. An applicant living and overseas, doesn't really matter, everyone is open. So this is a good news, as we have gone through a pandemic, although there has been a wave 5 or wave 6. I'm not too sure which wave it is anymore, but anyway, make sure you keep healthy and fit throughout the rest of the year. The program provides 2 visa pathways, and we have know about this. 190 that gets you a permanent residency straight away, and 491 that's for people who are in regional Victoria, so not in Melbourne City. Perhaps I think easy to categorize this is if you drive from CBD Melbourne about 40 to 50 minutes away in that radius, or regional. So anyway, they do provide you the actual postcode for accuracy in this sense. So now they ask you to put in a new ROI, registration of interest, but I'm gonna go in there and go through all the information today in this video. If you haven't been selecting 2021-22 because it was highly competitive, well, it's actually very hard to get into Victoria, but we can have a look. Applicant who were not selected to apply, encouraged to submit a new ROI for 2022 and 23, and again it's basically saying that it's open for onshore and offshore, so everyone is open, but you just need to meet the criteria. So first of all, let's jump in there. Now which one is this one? Okay, so how do you do the registration of interest? Okay, now it's I've gone through this in previous video. They thank God they have not changed the system. It's still the same. So to be selected for Victorian Skill Visa nomination, you must first submit the ROI. An ROI is not an application. It's basically registering your interest. Well, it's the same as EOI, but they just don't want to distract or confuse applicant between ROI and EOI. But their the use of these forms or application is the same. So state government use ROI, and federal government immigration use EOI. Okay, if you submit ROI during 2020-21, you must submit a new one. Okay, so it's the same. Oh, they haven't updated this. They still put it in 2021-22. It should be 22 to 23. ROI will remain in our system. We select the highly talented applicants, so they check applicant. They compare applicant and applicant in the same field of target groups, should I say, and then they pick the good one. They pick the highest point one. Okay, so remove all ineligible ROI from selection pool. That's how they do it. The selection system read all eligible ROI and demonstrate exceptional talent is being selected. Rank all remaining. So basically they rank. That's what I try to say. They compare one by one and pick the best one in that field of occupation or skill set. You can update or you can withdraw. And multiple ROIs, no, you cannot do it. So they don't like it. You can only have one active ROI because they used to be, we used to help a lot of people to have multiple ROI with multiple ways. But anyway, they only allow one. So you need to pick carefully. How do I submit ROI? Here we go. That's just the portal there. You go in there and punch in your detail in there and click submit. But I need to get everybody's attention here. Now, you only have your skill assessment done, plus your English is all done with all the supporting evidence in your computer ready to attach. Then you submit ROI. Do not just go in there and submit an ROI bluntly without your skill assessment. And then once you get selected or so whatnot, and you come back to the government and say, look, I haven't done my skill assessment, then you're basically wasting your time, and that will be redundant, and it's not good for your record. Because in the future, if you want to put another ROI in, well, the AI will pick it up. Well, it's that person again. Well, probably they haven't got things ready. They'll put it aside. So don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Now let's go back to the Victorian's migration page. So first of all, let's jump into the subclass 190. I haven't really seen much of change of criteria for this year and last year in comparison. So the general information here is who can apply. Obviously for 190, it's you need to put your ROI, you need to be under 45 years age, at least competent English, valid skill assessment in the occupation, and visa, achieve 65 points. How can you apply? You go through, you put EOI and you put ROI, and you get picked up and you supply all the documents. Then you get invited and you apply on visa. What you need to do, you need to get everything ready. That's exactly what I just said. You need to get all that ready, and once you are nominated, obviously you submit your documents. So let's I've clicked that supporting information, so just to let everybody know what is actually required here. Now, living onshore, so skill nominated visa 190 is a permanent visa that gets you permanent residency straight away. They now open for onshore and offshore. So onshore and working in Victoria. If you're living in Victoria and claiming annual earning in your ROI, you must support your claim. So that's your employment contract, pay slip, and things. During your assessment, your nomination application, we may require additional pay slips. So they just wanted to check, it's not just one of you. You're continuing and actually genuinely working and being employed in Victoria. Any earning you claim must be in skill employment, so you don't just go there and work as a dishwasher and things like that. So obviously you won't be in there. Skill level 1, 2, 3, that's including managerial role, professional, and trades. That's like chef and cook, carpenter. Okay, you can find more information about annual earning estimation guide page. Now, if you're offshore, you must committed to live in Victoria. So they don't want to invite you, and you're telling people that you don't want to go to Victoria. You need to have a skill assessment, okay, and further eligibility requirement. You need to get your skill assessment. That's exactly what I'm saying. You need to, if you're interested about skill migration to Australia, you need to get skill assessment, and you put your ROI in, and that's basically it. And we're just repeating on the age English and points, commitment to Victoria. That's pretty simple, isn't it? Your obligation, now, I'm not going to go through all this. They need to declare that you will definitely live in Victoria. And they wanted to track that record because they don't want people to use Victoria to migrate, and they don't want to stay in Victoria. You may ask for more information by email, and you must reply within 2 weeks. Incomplete applications, you must submit a complete application. So, well, obviously, if it's incomplete, you won't be able to be invited. Do not ask for updates. They don't like people to keep calling them. For more update, you can withdraw nomination application fee and terms and conditions. So that's really something else. You don't provide false and misleading stuff. All right, so for subclass 491 in Victoria's skill work regional, let's have a look at that one there. There's not much of differences, but I noticed this that they have intentionally removed the target sector thing, which was the hardest part for the past 2 years. How can you actually graduate and straight into those technology sectors? But what about cook and chef and all that? So it's actually not that fair, and they create a workforce pathway. Now I think that's not there anymore. But again, now I've seen this 491. There's no more target sector information required here, and who can apply? It's the same thing, exactly the same as what the previous page that we have saw for 190. They're unsure applicant require all of this. So if you're unsure, you'll be employed, and your residence evidence that evidencing that you are living and staying in designated regional Victoria. If you're offshore, you need to get passport, English language, and skill assessment. So if you're offshore, you're eligible to submit in any eligible occupation. Initially, you will be prioritized in health occupation. However, we encourage applicant in all other occupations. That is very good. That is actually very, very welcoming. Once you're nominated, that's the same thing. You'll be going through the invitation and things for visa, and there's also a special pathway for 790 safe haven enterprise. I think this is more for people come from probably from Ukraine. Anyway, I don't have much more detail on that one. So I've clicked on the supporting information on this page, so it brings us to this one. As it says, again, you need to be in designated regional area. So where are those areas? If you click on this, might as well just click on this and have a look. We'll show you later. And your work, you need to show that you're living, working in any skill occupation. That's including everything. So that's exactly very good. You must be working regional and provide your employment contract, pay slips, and things like that. So this is an example. If you're nominated occupation in mechanical engineer, you are working as a mechanical engineer. Technician, your employment is considered as a skill employment, so you cannot just be very extreme. So if you're working as a truck driver and you're not considered working as skill employment, so again, it needs to be skill employment. Offshore applicant, you're offshore, you're eligible to submit ROI. Initially, we'll prioritize health, and that's the same that we just read about. So working in Victoria, there's annual earning estimation guide. You need to provide support of claiming your employments, and during assessment they may ask you to update something as well. Get skill assessment done. Of course, without skill assessment you can't do anything. So anyway, further eligibility requirement. Okay, let's go in there. ROI, yes, living in Victoria, age. Gotta be under 45, and the language points. Obviously, you will still aim as high point as possible. Your nomination obligation, basically the declaration form and commitment to Victoria, basically says you will stay in Victoria and continue to stay in Victoria for the next 3 years in order to actually change and transfer into permanent residency. So I've clicked on the designated regional area here. It brings us to the immigration's web page. Let me just magnify that. There's a postcode list. So once you click on that, I wonder why it doesn't just go there straight away. Anyway, here we go. I've do some calculations. on the map, it generally takes about 40-50 minute drive from Melbourne CBD or around north, east, and west. You can't go too much south because you go into Port Phillips. Don't know why the immigration website is not actually running, but anyway, that's the web page there. Oh, here we go. Okay, finally, here we go. That's the designated regional postcodes that you wanted to follow. So you don't find 3000 in there because 3000 will be CBD. So anyhow, I think let's summarize this. I think it's a very welcoming criteria for the state of Victoria Government. Compared to previous, it required to be in the target sector, and it has additional workforce pathway, which is gone now. So removing the target sector, which generally are all the technology, meditech, health, science, high-tech stuff. Now it's open. All the occupation is opened, and I don't see this too hard to be in there, but the only thing is you got to be competitive enough to actually grab those opportunities, because the quota is going to be limited. But I think it's actually a very welcoming state government's skill migration criteria here. Anyway, should you have more questions, query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.